Good afternoon, art buddies, and welcome to Bricolage with Paint Girly. This may be a very light stream. It's not my regular time, but we have a friend and neighbor in the hospital, so we needed to do some things this morning and go pay her a visit. So I just did my stream time for today. And I apologize if I'm overlapping someone else who generally is on it in this time frame. I couldn't remember who might be on, but I do apologize. But I just wanted to get on and get some airtime, if you will. My channel's been a little light lately. So I'm just going to go ahead and start, and hopefully some folks will be able to trickle in and join me. Generally, this is a live stream with live people, but today I'm the only one that looks like I'm alive and here. So you can see my workspace has gotten smaller and smaller. Linda, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. So, but I think I'll be able to work in this small space. I just have an idea that I wanted to kind of work out. Last time that we were together, I was working on making dangles. I really haven't done anything with them since. This was one that I worked on. And this was another. Just putting some beads and ribbons and some, this is some seam binding that I had in my stash to make things that I could hang on to journal spines or the front cover or a handbag, a work tote, you know, an art tote, a knitting tote, whatever. I kind of like things like that dangling on my handbag. And then when I was looking through the jewelry, the broken jewelry, supposed to be broken, a lot of it's not broken. It's just old. Nobody wants it anymore, whatever. You know, I was thinking, how could I use this in my journal making? So I started to take a couple of things apart. And I came across a bracelet like this. I have a hard time debating. Am I going to wear that or am I going to? But I decided to take this one somewhat apart in that it had a really nice lobster claw clasp on the one end. And then on the other end, it just had the little circle that you hook it onto. But when I tried to get that little ring off, I busted a little connection here. And I thought, well, wouldn't that look cute with just like a little bead or a little tassel at the bottom? But when I make tassels, I make them with fabric and I make them big and they're puffy and they look cool, but they wouldn't work for something small like this. So I think most of us, and you know what I mean when those little teeny tiny mini tassels. And so I remembered I picked this up. Somebody had a clearance. It could have been Joann's when they were closing. I'm not sure. I think I've had it a little longer than that. But see, this has a little tiny tassel hanging on it, which I think is just adorable. Well, I don't want to buy these. That's the bottom line. I don't want to buy those for a couple of reasons. One, I'm cheap. Two, you buy a package and there's always more in it than what you need, you know. And if you're working on a journal in a certain color palette, you know, you want one that's going to go with it. You're not going to know that when you go and try to pick some of these up. So I thought certainly someone has a video online on how to make these. So I found a gal and I listened to her, and I think she had a clever way to approach it. Um, it was a bit fiddly, of course, for her. So I'm thinking, how can I maybe either improve on that or make it easier for me to do it? It was a little fussy for me. But I'm going to show you how she did it. And then as I was looking at this particular little tassel, see, there's something hard underneath there. Feels like a little bead, you know? And it's got a nice round head there on it. See how nice it looks? So see, this is what I want it to look like. I want it to look like it was made by a machine. That's the way I roll. So then I tried to make a couple. Not I didn't try. I did make a couple. That was my first one. This is my second one. Okay, so I'm using her technique. This was the first one that I made. And she recommended wrapping the thread like 30 times. So this was 30 times. But as you can see, this is just really kind of a little sad looking. He's so thin. He doesn't have much. Although I think the top got fairly decent. It's a little messy. But then when I tried it a second time, I wrapped it a lot more. But what I didn't like about this one is when the top is a little wonky. See, it looks okay on the left-hand side, and then it kind of slopes down, and my thread here to attach it to something. Oh, look, beads coming off. I didn't tie this. No worries, no worries. I didn't really care for it because it kind of looked a little wonky. And then I thought I should put a couple of little beads on there, but see, it's just not straight. So I thought, well, I can maybe improve on that. So when I thought about this particular bracelet, or if you had a string of beads, you could just have a single string of beads. I want a little tassel on the bottom. See, look how darling that would look. I just didn't care for how unprofessional that looked. Okay, maybe that's a better way to say it. So I got to thinking how I might do it differently than she did, but yet kind of the same. So I didn't write down her name. I mean, her video was fine, but I didn't write down the channel name. But she said she learned it, of course, from someone else, and she used a fork, a regular kitchen fork, to make the mini tassel. So this is really thin thread, used for tatting mostly, and crocheting. I have tons of it because I over purchase everything. So this is the thing you need to know about tatting thread or crochet thread. The bigger the number, the thinner the thread. So the smaller the number, the heavier the thread. So this is a number 5. And I pulled this out because it's heavier and I'm hoping we can see it better. Now, of course, it's going to make it a little larger tassel, but I think for working with it and those purposes and learning how to do it, this might be easier. Now, I haven't tried my ideas yet. I'm just going to try them here with you and we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to plan on using at least this a couple of times, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing better. So what this gal did was she took a piece of her thread that she was going to use and she just cut off a piece and she set that aside for just a minute. And she took her fork and she just laid this one single thread, she just laid it in the top tine, in between the top and the first and second tine, if we do it that way. All right, so that's how she had it. Hey, Teresa. Good afternoon. So then she kind of positioned it where it was kind of stretched out. And she did have trouble fussing because this kept getting in the way. So the first thing I'm going to do with her technique is I'm going to take a little piece of washi tape and attach this to my tine. So hopefully it's not going to interfere with me too greatly. So that's the first thing I'm going to change that she didn't do. She was, the whole time she was wrapping, she was having to knock that thread out of her way. Now I tried painter's tape when I did it myself, but that really doesn't come undone very well. So I'm just going to tape this. This might not work, but I'm going to tape it right like that because I want to keep this here. Hey, Susie. Okay, lurk away, lurk away. So then you're going to take the rest of your thread, whatever you're going to use, and you're going to just start to wrap it. Now, this is where she suggested 30 wraparounds, but I found that to be, especially with the thinner thread, not quite enough. So we'll see how this looks. So all you want to do is just make sure you wrap over what you put in that, where you put the tine. I probably could put a piece of tape there too. Why don't I do that? That might be helpful. See, I'm all about trying to do it where it's fairly easy and you're not going to get all, I was going to say tongue-tied, but finger-tied. All right, so now we're just going to hold this here and just start to wrap. Now I'm trying to keep this one little piece, hey Kellyanne, down and just start to wrap. And then, of course, I would be counting, but I'm going to eyeball it because I don't want to count with you guys here. Now, you don't want to pull this too terribly tight because what she did was when she went to get it off the fork, she struggled to try to get it off because she had wrapped it too tight. Now, I think she probably could have slid it this way as well. It would have been easier for her, but maybe not. But if you pull this too extremely tight, you're going to have a hard time sliding that off your tines. So remember that. So I'm kind of holding this loose thread out of the way. If I get messy, I'm just going to push it together. And then when it gets as fat as you think you might like it, hey, Judy, you're just going to trim off the bottom end that is attached to the ball. I'm going to leave it long just for now. So this is what you have. So you've got the piece that you put up on the top tine, and then you've wrapped your thread. And now I'm going to undo my washi tape, and all she did was just tie this here. Okay. And when she tied it, I'll go ahead and do that. When she tied it, she slid it off to then tie it again to kind of make the throat, if you will, of the tassel. Now I should probably put my glasses down. So let's take this off. Washi tape is a wonderful thing, isn't it? So now my washi tape is off. And this is my original piece. Okay, so I'm going to tie that down. She said not to tie this too terribly tight either, but I think you probably could tie it a little tighter than I did originally. She just did a double knot. Now, these are the threads that you're going to hopefully attach this to either your lobster claw or your dangle or whatever you're going to put this on. So, you want to keep that in mind too. Now, when I tie that, of course, that can move, so you can wiggle around and maybe not stay center. Now, at this point, she slid this off, and she tied another thread right around here to make what I'm calling the throat of the throat of the tassel, or at the waist of the tassel. So she tied it with other thread right there. Now she used a gold thread that she had in her stash, say like for slow stitching, you wanted to add some gold. But I don't think the gold thread that I have is very sturdy. I didn't bring that out here with me today. And I kind of like just keep it, I kind of like the look of keeping it in the same color tone. See, this is my sample here. Ooh, this is the one I purchased. See, it's they use the same thread that they created the tassel with. So I'm thinking that's what I might like to do. So I'm thinking two things. She slid hers off and then tied it, but I'm thinking I could just maybe, you know, push it down a little bit and thread my tying thread through and do it that way. And then I had a second thought after I tried it the first time to actually use this thread and tie it like an actual tassel. So that's an option too. So I can show you that in after a while. But first, I think I'm going to do it this way, the way she did it. So she initially tied. I just hope you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come. I don't want to really unattach it from the ball. If I go this way, well, all right. So I'm going to stick it down here from the back. Let's just do it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Bring this up. So I'm in between the top tying and the second tying, and she just tied it. I'm going to do what I think they call a surgeon's knot, where you just loop it in there twice, come down, and I'm going to cinch it. Hey, Flo. So there again, if you pull it too tight, you're not going to be able to get that off. So you have to be conscious of that. See, now mine's wiggling pretty good. So then she took it off. Okay. And this is where, it gets a little bit fiddly. I mean, you could really, I guess, leave it that way, but you just have the one thread around it. So in order to make that look more like a tassel or have more stability there, she just started to wrap like this. Until she got it the way she liked it. Now I just kind of squished that a little. So then when you're done that, you want to cut this, but then you have to tie it again, correct? Now, if you do the regular tassel tie, I'll show you that on the next one. So I'm just going to loop this through. It is so warm here in my room. It gets so warm back here. I didn't get it. This would be easier if I had this on a needle. That's what I was looking for, and I didn't get it. Now, of course, you could put a little glue there, but you really want to cinch that as tight as you can cinch it. Okay, so now I have my loose threads, the one that I tied. So I'm going to trim those to be about the length of where it's looped. And then I'm just going to come in here. Probably smaller scissors would be better. Just going to come in where it's looped, and I'm going to start to cut. And then you just want to make sure you have all your little, if you ever made a pom-pom, it's kind of like that, right? And then you can trim. And there I have my little tassel. And see, I didn't really pull that thread all that tight. See, I could have done it better. It's not cinched in, I don't think, as nicely as it could be. Has anybody ever made these, like made little mini ones? See, and then this is attached to the top. So this is where you put your jump ring or your lobster claw clasp or something like that to attach it to whatever you wanted to dangle it from. Hey, honey, in that basket that's on the kitchen counter, I think my blue glasses are in there. Would you grab them for me when you can? See, so I'm thinking something like this, whatever color you'd want to do, you could attach it to the bottom of a dangle. You could attach it to the edge of a journal page, But this way, most of us all have thread of some kind. Thanks, baby. Most of us have thread laying around, right, that we could use up. But now, so then I did it that way. So then I'm thinking, okay, so how can I make this better and look better finished, like on this one that was made, by a machine? I'm sure this was made by a machine because that's got a bead. Now, keep in mind, you could do this any size you want. You could make a bigger one too. It'd be easy to make a bigger one. Of course, you'd need a bigger fork, right? And then I'm thinking, what do I have that doesn't have those inside tines, or whatever they're called, get in my way? So my brain's been, chugging for a couple of days. And then I thought, well, maybe I should try one of these. Now, of course, this is going to make a bigger tassel, but you can always trim it, right? You could trim it. So I'm going to try to make one on this because I don't have to fuss with those inside bits. I tried the cardboard and that did work okay, but I found that it was easier to have the opening to go underneath and to tie like, the little waist or the neckline or whatever you want to call it. So, this I found to be a little easier. My cardboard, I think I just threw it away and I had a hard time. There was no slippage for me. But that's how I make pom-poms, with the cardboard. And I just spent the cardboard. And I thought, well, if I wanted to make, say I wanted to make 5 or 6, then I'll be cutting cardboard and throwing cardboard. My brain just goes all over the place. So I thought I would try one on this. And I want to show you how I was thinking I might do that other actual tassel tie. I don't know what you would say. But then I thought, well, if I wanted a bead under there, all I would have to do is put a bead on the thread that you tie at the top, right? I might see it a little bit, but so then I'm starting to look for a bead that's not too big, but not too small. A Goldilocks bead. And it would depend on the size tassel, really, that you wanted to make. And I'm thinking maybe like one of these seed beads, right? But I'd have to put the thread through and, of course, have a knot that's not going to pull through. So that's, another part of the equation. So let's try again. So I'm going to do another one. I'm just going to cut my strip of thread. Now, if you have any questions, put them in caps for me, okay? And hopefully I'll see them. Now I get, focused on what I'm working on and don't necessarily always look at chat when I should. So if you ask me a question and I don't answer, please repeat. All right, I'm wetting the ends of those just in some water to see if I can get those threads, because right now I'm not seeing where my darning needles are, my thread, my stitching, for my signatures. All right, so I'm going to put this through. Now I could try the knot, but you know what? I just had another thought. What if I did it this way? What if I put it, wait a minute. All right. Where's my pin cushion? Pin cushion, pin cushion. But then I'll have a hard time threading my needle. Here's one. I think this is going to go through. I have to break down maybe and get, yeah, it's going to go through. I have to break down and get some more beading needles. Oh, those long, skinny ones, you know. And I did find my needle threaders. But I don't remember where I saw them. And here we go again. I think Hubs is trying to take a nap out back, and he's in and out, in and out, in and out. Hey, Ange. Came in to say hi. Can't stay. She's not home. Well, isn't that a shock? Okay, so let's bring the thread through, and then let's go through it again. Move this down, try to keep it even. So I put the thread through. Now I'm going to go back and come through it again. So I'm kind of locking that thread in. This may not work, guys. I don't know. All right, so now I have, of course, it's greatly uneven. I have a little bead attached. It's not going to go anywhere. Like that thread's not going to pull through. It's really locked in there. Now I'm going to try it on this bigger fork with just the 2 times. And so I want this to lay like this, I think. And I'm going to washi tape this down so it doesn't get in my way. Hopefully. Boop. I'm going to washi tape that end down. Does it make sense so far? Let's washi this on. That's kind of loose, but loosey-goosey. So now what I'm going to try to do is when I wrap it, I'm going to try to catch this in between my wrappings. So this is more towards the top. Right. Actually, I guess it could lay right on there, couldn't it? Let's do another little piece of tape. If you don't tape it, you'll see what I mean. It like goes all over the place. So I'm just kind of like what I would call jerry rigging this, so my thread stays where I want it to be while I wrap the other. Okay. Oh, she did? Oh, that's nice, Ange. Well, I wish her well with that. All right, so here's my rest of my thread. Now, like I said, if you weren't here earlier, this is a number 5. The smaller the number, the thicker the thread. Okay, so here we go. Now this is going to be a little more annoying because I've got this big old fork to hold on to. That's where you are? Oh, nice. Oh, it's a hot day to be buying a car. All right, so I'm going to just start wrapping on either side right now. This may not work. And then I'm going to try to wrap over top of that. Yeah, that's not going to work. I got to use my right hand. Already I can see this is going to be fiddly to get it over that bead. If I could put something, I thought about putting a little glue there. on the bead, you know, to just make it grab a little bit because it's real slippery. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. All right, let's just keep going. I should have wrapped that up like that. Keep your fingers out of the way. Yeah, the thread just keeps, well, you know, it just might end up on top. We'll see how it looks. I'm going on the left of it. I'm going on the right of it. Making this one really fat. Now I wonder. I wonder if I had tweezers. I don't know where my tweezers. Oh, there, that other pair's there. I don't want those. Oh, I forgot to get I did buy some jump rings. They're in the other room. I was just wondering if I could pull this up and tuck that bead under. I might not be able to zhuzh it. All right, so I'm going to leave that bead exposed, and maybe I can just move it all the way up to the top. We'll see how that works. I'm doing this on the fly. I haven't tried this to see. So I'm going to undo my washi tape. Get that off the fork tine. Now I'm going to bring this up and pull it and cinch it together and tie this. Now I want to tie it again underneath to kind of make the neck. See, to me, this is like the head of the tassel and then the neck or the waist of the tassel, I guess you could say. I don't know. Maybe that's silly. So I'm going to take it off of the ball. So I'm going to trim that. Now the last one I tied and slid it off and wound it. So I think what I'm going to do something similar, but yet a little bit different. So I'm going to go underneath here again. But see, I don't have those two other tines to fuss with because I just picked out this two-tined fork. Two-time and forks. I wonder if there's a name. Does anybody know? Is there a specific name for this kind of a fork? My mom used to use it to, you know, pick her roast up out of the pan. So I'm going to tie this. I think I'm going to tie really tight. I'm having a hard time tying that tight. I need a little finger there like I'm wrapping a present. It's not, I need it to be tight. Oh, a carving fork. Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't even think of that. That's not tight enough. Okay. So I'm going to slip this off. Now I've got this one longer piece. I want to bring that down. That's where I detached it from the ball. This is my top threads. I'm going to get this guy down here. And go slide this off. Boop. Get that fork out of the way. Now I've done this for tassels before that I do with fabric. but I'm going to try it with this. I don't see why it wouldn't work. And so what I want to do is I want to make a loop, and I want the loop to be this way. Because I got that silly, oh look, I just shoved those threads and it covered the bead. So I'm going to lay this loop this way as best I can. Now this is small, so it's really fiddly. This is easier to do when you're using pieces of fabric. And I'm just going to start winding that and pulling this as tight as I can. And it's hard to see because I have my nails in the way too. So I'm pulling and winding. And you want your threads to be as neat as you can get them. I don't know if you can see. You know, you just want to keep winding and pull, wind and pull, wind and pull. Because what I want to do is I want to tie this and make sure it's secure, but I also don't want to see those threads. So once you get it like that, then you're going to take, I just knocked my scissors on the floor. You're going to take your thread and put it through the loop. Nor does it matter which way. And then you're going to find the other end of that loop thread. Got so many threads here. That's the wrong one. And then when you pull it, oh girls, I think I've lost my, this is this part. These are my, this is the one I initially, these are, okay. So once you start pulling it, it's going to pull that loose thread right down under where you wrapped it. And that usually cinches your tassel. So now this is the one I originally tied that I couldn't get tight. I'm just going to scoot that one off because I don't really need that anymore. That's like getting out of a pair of pantyhose. Now I'm going to trim my tails and I'm going to put my scissors in where all the loops are. Oop. Shave and a haircut. There we go. Just make sure you get them all trimmed. And then you can always trim these. And if it's not small enough, you can make it smaller, you know, give it a haircut. So I definitely think I want to, yeah, me too. Thank God. That was pantyhose for, So that's the one with the beads. So when I pulled it off, I could just zhuzh those threads over top of the bead, but it's shaped a little better as far as that goes, I think. This is the thread that I pulled the tassel for. So more than likely, I will put a little bit of glue there. And then, of course, trim it. So that's a little tassel. Not sure I would go through the hassle of putting a bead in there again. But I do like using the fork. So I'm getting a little better. These are the two we just made. These are the two that I made before you guys came. So you can see this thread is much thinner. All right, so they're my little pieces. And I just think they'll look darling on the bottom of a jangle. A jangle, a jangle, do 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 do. You know, so we've seen all kinds of tassels, right? Okay, Andrea, don't work too hard. Stay cool, right? All right, you need a little sip of my water. All right, so another one here. I thought I was going to show you. This was on the end of a necklace. Now this one's a different kind of a thread. This is that kind of dull, cruel type of, you know, thread. This is different. This is real silky, like a silky feeling. I don't know what they did there. I can't see how they, but see, they put it on a bead and they put one of those little hook things, you know, and they clipped it here, hooked another thing, clipped it, put the bead on, and then just put the tassel. What's that called there, Kel? That little an eye, is that an eye hook? An eye ring or something? It's like got a circle on the end, a circle and a dot. I had one sitting here. Here. This, but it was longer. Obviously it was longer. So you could attach threads to that and, you know, make a tassel. So that's, you know, you can do all kinds of stuff. See, that's kind of cute if you have that kind of setup and that kind of bead. Eye pin. Thanks, honey. A little eye pin. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put this thicker jazz aside. And let's make one. See, now I've got some of this stuff. This is variegated. Twisted around bangles, which I'm also fussing around with. See, I'm trying to crochet on this bangle to do something with them because I got all these when we were in England and I went to that thrift shop. I found a jar with all the different kinds of jewelry, and it had a bunch of those bangles. I hate to just throw them out, but I'm not going to wear them. You know, they're just, as they say, costume jewelry. And the bangles tend to get in my way day to day, you know, trying to, the metal kind of bangle because there's so much loopiness. Uh-oh. That phone's always ringing. Brian does. That's my son. He doesn't know that I'm streaming. Okay, so let's try one with the thinner thread. See if I can see a number on this. 125 yards. Size. I got the wrong glasses on for that. This is a size 70. 70. Can you see how thin? And what we were using here was a 5. So the smaller the number, the bigger the thread. The bigger the number, the thinner the thread. So let's try making this one's a really pretty dark. Oh, that one's better. 70. Let's try this one. Now, this thin thread, I don't think would be good for a longer tassel like I just showed you because there's no body to it. I don't think it would hang very nice. But if you're somewhere in a thrift shop or somewhere and you see some different kind of thread that's got a little more bulk to it, you might want to try it to make a tassel. now that we're experts on making tassels. So let me get my carving fork. Now, can anybody think of anything else that you could use that might even be more narrow? I mean, I guess if you had an old fork, you could snap those center tines out, but that was a lot more convenient and easy to use without those extra tines in. Now, some of you may not have been here at the start when I used just a regular fork. So when you wrap it and then go to tie it tight, these kind of get in the way. So if you've got something to use as a jig, now like Linda said, she has used cardboard. You certainly can do that. But I found if you want to make multiples, sit down and make several, you'd need a stack of cardboard for me because I couldn't get my threads off. It like kind of stuck. And so I don't even know what a shrimp fork is, Cal. Oh, let me look at that. I don't know, honey. What's a shrimp fork? I eat shrimps, but I use my mitts. I use my fingers. All right, let's check it out. Shrimp fork. Not fort, fork. Stay signed out. Oh, Kel, that would be perfect. Look at these, girls. Maybe some of you know. See, and it's smaller. You could really make a mini. Look at you go, Kel. That would be fabulous. So now I'm going to have to start checking out utensils and stuff when I go back to the... Oh, Kel, that would be perfect. Look at that. Huh? I had no idea. I wonder why. Of course, this advertisement, they don't have a piece of shrimp. They're not showing you a piece of shrimp. They're showing you with all different kinds of stuff. Not shrimp. Melon. Appetizers. Hey, that's cool. That's a great tip. All right. I think that would be... Oh, a pickle fork. Oh, I think I do have a pickle fork. Wait a minute. Let me go look. Oh, my pickle fork's really sharp. Let me go quick look in the kitchen. I think I know right where that is. Let's see. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to waddle to the kitchen drawer. Maybe mine's an olive fork, not a pickle. So that would be perfect if I didn't have that in there. I'll have to look at a pickle. Oh, Mr. Pickle. All right, I have to message. I thought my husband was in the house. He is not. My son will be calling. Let me just message him quickly. My schedule changed and I didn't send out an all points bulletin. Okay. Live. All right, so I'm going to try again with the carving fork. And I'm going to use a skinny thread. I'm going to really have to wrap quite a bit because It's really thin and I want it to, okay, so this, I want to get a little piece. So I have that for my tie thread. And I'm going to put that like that. Take some washi. Just to hold that where I want it. I find it easier without having to mess around with, that thread flopping on the end, getting in my way. So we went to the pool yesterday. The water was 97. I said I have to get out. I mean, it was too warm. It wasn't refreshing at all. Not even a little. Woo. Yes, that's also. I don't know that this is a pickle though, Cal, to tell you the truth. Mine could be an olive. I'll have to look up a pickle fork, but you're definitely right, because then you couldn't slide it off. Very good point. Yeah, I misspoke. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this and I'm just gonna start wrapping. That'll be the next thing. I always have my husband saving trash, saving old tea bags, doing this, doing that. That's all I have to do now is say, okay, I got this fork. I want you to take this off, take this out. Yeah. All right. So this, you can see, if you're using really thin thread, which I like the variegated, although look how this is kind of wrapping. Oh, there we go. I'm getting a little different. Let's see. There it goes. It's kind of hiding up all that dark stuff now. It's kind of wrapping. Now I'm pulling this pretty tight. Maybe I should back it off a little bit. But just be careful if you have something like this and these are pointy when you're winding it around. It's easy to knock into that. Don't be knocking into yourself there and getting a cut. It's just like you're wrapping a skein of yarn. So that's pretty. That's pretty decent. All right, so I'm going to trim that little piece off. I think I want another little piece of washi to hold that. I've had the problem last time with that. Now my washi is kind of stuck to my mat over here. Sometimes you can't get the washi to stick at all, and other times you can't get it off. Okay, I'm just gonna maybe hold that like that. That's up too far. So now I'm gonna undo this washi. And get that original. I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit. The other thing too is, the dinner fork, I had a hard time getting it to sit nicely like this. That's the other nice thing about this bigger fork. Now see, if I could thread this and put beads on here, that would look pretty too, wouldn't it? I don't know if I could get. I put those beads away. Let's see what I have here. And then I was going to ask if anybody wanted to, I could put the embossing powder on some of these paper beads if anybody wanted to see how that looks. Let's see. Let me pick out a couple. That's purple. These might look okay. I think it'll be easier if I trimmed. I don't know if this is gonna cooperation. Woo! No. Did it. Oh, this isn't as wide open as those yellow ones. Let's see what I got over here. That works. Yellow and purple look okay together, right? One, two, three. They can come off because that's not a big enough knot. It's not a big enough knot. All right, so now I'm going to take this washi off. Hey, Joyce. Maybe I'll tape this up here so I don't lose my beads. I didn't want to lose my beads. Hey, Jacqueline. And I'm going to tie right there. I'm going to take a piece off. Just trimming them so I don't get confused. Whoops. Oh, you did? Oh, my. You could do everything. I am so not mechanical. I just pulled that out of my hand. You know, I think I'm going to double this. Now, you could use some kind of heavier thread if you had some, you know, and you might like a different kind of a look to tie this. But I kind of like the same color. I'll try to get this as tight as I can. I could always use glue too and not fuss around with that other way to tie it. All right, let's see if we can wiggle and zhuzh this one off. Oh, see these? It might be tough. See, because they're a little wider. They go out wider. Oh no, look. I did it. I just can't seem to tie that real tight. I'm going to try to wrap this and see. Yeah, see, it's moving. Wait a minute, I gotta see what Judy said. I'm having a hard time. See how this stuff gets in your way? That's not going to help either because it's got to be. It's a fussy business. It's probably better to tie it so it holds and then get a separate piece to make that extra thread like kind of around the thinner part here because it was spinning on me that time. Now I have to figure out how to tie it. This is where tweezers come in handy. Judy said, back in the day, I used to babysit my nieces and they had Barbies. I would make pom-poms for the Barbies in there. Oh, the girls would make the Barbies flip and down. What a great idea. I think I was telling you before, my one friend that we grew up as neighbors and her aunt could really knit, I think it was. I wasn't into any of this, of course, then I was a kid. And she had all kinds of Barbie clothes that the aunt had knit, like winter coats, and she put fur on them. And her Barbie clothes, we played for hours with that stuff. All right, so you have to just judge and you know tie this as the best you can. Now I've got a couple little hairs sticking out there, probably needs to be glued. But then I'm just going to come in here and try to get in the loops. And trim. These would have been good Barbie shakers. So that's not too bad. I think the more you would make, of course, the better you're going to get at it, right? Now they're grown women, have grown children of their own. Oh, how did we get this old? As the days pass and our family grows more generations, we remember special times. Yeah. So you can do it. Now, sometimes you have maybe not this kind of thread, because I bought this stuff for tatting. But you can buy those crochet balls. I don't have one handy. I don't think I had one the other week. Oh, where I was. Oh, there it is. I'll show you. You could use this as well, I'm sure. And there's different weights in this. Ooh. This is a little easier to get a hold of. Of course, this would make a million tassels. This stuff. Let's make one with this. So, of course, my label's gone, but this is I usually buy number 10. Echo Sheen. I don't know. Echo Sheen may be the brand name. Hi, Tony. Nice to see you. I can't remember what the other one's called, but I think most of these are a number 10. Whoa, beads, so much beads almost went down. Oh yes, I hope you do try it. I would love to know how you make out. I love these balls of thread, and I put these little balls all in a clear jar, and then I can sit them around in my craft room here. I can see them, but it also serves kind of like a decoration, you know. I do the same thing with my jingle bells. Even my popsicle sticks, you know, I like to see all that in clear jars so I can see what's going on. Now, where did there they are. Always put them, no bark or you're going to go out. Gonna have to go to the other room. Daddy's taking a nap. You can look out the window, but you have to be quiet. No barking. Okay? All right. So now this is a little heavier. Not even heavier so much as like a stiffer kind of a thread. This time I'm going to try to just tape that up there. And I'm using washi tape I probably shouldn't use. Should have gotten out some ugly stuff. I got ugly stuff. I guess you could really even put your jump ring on, right? Let's do that. Let me go get my jump rings. Gosh, I'm up and down a lot today. But they just came the other day. Let me go get those. Instead of having to take it apart and get it on later, I'll slip it on now. It's too hot for you to go out, baby. Okay, so a couple of, there they are. All different things. These are yeah. This one's the lobster claw, which I think would be kind of big for. I don't think you really need a lobster claw for a tassel. I guess just depends on how you want to use it. I don't know what this is for. Does anybody know what this is for? Oh, maybe it's to open the ring? Yeah. All right, what size? Mm. Oh my. Oh my. There we go. I'm thinking that's not going to close. Jacqueline, my dear, could you do me a favor? Could you check to see if there's any Phillies score? Phillies are all playing right now. I would love that. Okay, so these are, in case it drives you crazy, these are these. I got some extras of these because I want to do some more cloth tassels as well. So I wanted to have some of those. All right, these are already split, which I didn't know they would come like that. Maybe that's how they usually come, and I buy the other stuff. It's not, I don't know. This is good, bad. I don't know. No idea. All right, so let's put this on here. Top of the 601 Astros. Man, they're stomping us. Okay. So let me pinch this closed. Oop. These are slippery. Thank you, Jacqueline. I overshot this. The thread's going to come right off of that. Maybe it's my pinchers. Let's get this littler pair. I thought I figured out the trick that you just squeeze it and they go together, but this one's not. Now this probably is going to be okay because the thread is heavier, but like this little thin thread, if I put a ring on there, I'm not sure how well that would hold. It might break the thread. Golly sakes. Keller, are you laughing yet? Are you laughing? Okay, I got to switch out these nails, I think, today or tomorrow. I'm ready for a new set. All right, so let me put that here. Oh, very nice. I think we're going to have my leftover lunch for dinner. We'll see. I made soup the other day. I got that too. I guess I don't have to. Well, no, I guess I could pull it through. Well, this is going to be an experiment as well. Putting that jump ring on first. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so now I got this. You need to use 2 pliers and twist back and forth, smaller and smaller till. Okay, honey, thank you. All right, I was thinking, the lazy man's way of doing it. But next time I'll try it your way. I'm sure that's better. Okay. So El Forco in Hando. Hun Brian called. I don't know if you heard me. All right, let's start here and just start wrapping. I should have the ball of thread to the right. I think that probably makes better sense. Oh my gosh, Lori. I keep knocking stuff on the floor because I put everything right under my arm. Oh, it's silly. It's silly. What are we making? Jacqueline, you got to tell me how to make them. Oh, smash burgers. Oh, yeah. I got Ron, that's my husband. I got him one of those weighted griddle thingies a while ago to make this smash burgers. Yeah, they're good. Oh, that's pretty thick. Okay. So I'm going to trim that. Then I'm going to undo this washi. Hmm. All right, I'm just tying it. We'll see what happens. Hey, Julie. Okay. Now my jump ring is right there. We'll see. I can always take that off. Julie, how was your vacation? Yeah, they're just not doing. They're just not hitting. All right, so now I'm going to need another piece of thread. And like I said, you can use contrasting if you have something sparkly. It was awesome. Oh, good. Very nice. See, I can't get it to hold right there. As soon as I leave go, it loosens up. So I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I'm going to take another piece because I want to wrap it tighter. It kind of looks like a haystack. Oh, let me unwiggle it. I have to unwiggle it. I don't want to put my carving fork through my leg. That would be a bit uncomfortable. I guess you really could slide it off and then tie it. Maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna snip what I just tied. Although that feels tight now. Yes, I'll show you in a second the other ones. It is tassel. So let's carefully lay him here. Get my other little piece of, well, it's not that little. I guess it's going to end up being, you know what? I'm going to do the other thing. I'm going to do the loop. I'm going to make half a loop. I'm going to lay it on the tassel. I'm going to pinch everything together. Pinch, pinch. And start winding. It's just there's not much to hold on to. Seems like I'm having more trouble the more I make them. Okay, so I'm pulling this really tight. See, I've got my loop sticking up. And then I'm just going to keep wrapping this around and I'm pulling it as tight as I can and trying to keep my fingernail out of the way. Because, you know, I want it to be tight. I don't want my fingernail to, and this is getting a little, it doesn't look as neat as I would hope. So as soon as you wrap and pull that as tight as you want, then you want to take the end of your, now I made this way too long. Put that in your loop. And then you want to take the other end of your loop thread here, and that will pull your other thread down in behind those strings, and it's supposed to tighten it up. Is it, Kel? Okay. I usually tie that again. I'm leaning back while I tie this. I know I'm out of frame. Then we're going to go in here, give it a little trim. He's a little cattywampus here. There he is. Judy says I've been thinking about making Christmas decorations. I could use a metallic thread and prism. Ooh, yes, prism jewels or crystals from old jewelry. Yes, and make yes, absolutely, definitely. And you could glue stuff on these, you know. Jacqueline, what's the name of that gal that does the crocheting and the hoops? Tina with two N's. I know that, but I didn't make my brain remember her channel. That's the other thing I was trying to figure out. She crochets around. Now, this is a little more difficult because it's a bangle and it's got bumpity bumps. But you could buy hoops, metal hoops like this. You know, in your one line, or you used to be able to get it in the craft store. I'm sure Michael still has them. So I'm trying to, but she has patterns you can, of course, buy. And then she'll crochet a heart or you could do a star, whatever you wanted, or you could hang beads in the center, and then she puts a little loop on it, and then she hangs these on her Christmas trees. You could hang them in a window. Hers look really cute. Thank you, sweetie. Tina. Oh, I can't say that last name. She's got an accent, so she's, from a different land. But her things are very cute. But it's a little fiddly crocheting around this. So I'm just working my way back to you, babe. So here are my tassels. I promised Julie. So this is the one we just did. And then I did this one. This one, using the heavier thread so you could see. This was the first one I did, not with you guys, but I did that, prior to streaming. And this was my second one. Of course, you can tell that this thread is much thinner. This is a number 70. This is a 10, I believe, and this is a 5. You can even see the difference. This 5 is really chubby. And I think I have some 8s. Yes. I forgot about that, Susie. You are right. Yeah, so I think there'll be, now the trick is going to be so this is a bracelet. I took off the other clasp off of this end, and I'm thinking I could hook this to a journal, and it would really make a nice little dangle for a spine. But I wanted something else on the bottom. Now you could do beads and a jump ring, of course, but I was thinking I'd like a tassel. So, of course, my little disc right there, it's going to be hard to get. I'll have to get a crochet hook maybe and get the threads through to tie on the tassel. And like the one I added some beads, you can add beads or whatever you want. And then, you could just tie it on. That might even be a little too fluffy. But it also gives you, like, if you're going to I say thrift shop, because sometimes, you can buy a bag of stuff for a couple of bucks instead of paying $4 or $5 for one card of beads or something, But sometimes you look at that stuff and you think, what would I ever do with it? Well, see, if you take it apart, flatten it out, you can do something like this with it. Or like we did Sunday when I was working on these. See, I haven't gone back to do this. I have to add some more things on here. But when you're looking at that thrift store stuff, if you keep projects like this in mind, you might see something in a grab bag or whatever that might be a little more. You see a blue tassel might look cute on this, either hanging on the ribbon or, maybe just a tassel on some of these other threads that I didn't put beads on, or maybe just a couple of beads and then tie on a tassel. It just look cute added to it, So now let me ask you this. This is all I was going to do for today. I'm starting to get hungry for lunch. We live, like in an old folks development, and I'm ready to eat dinner at 4:00. Okay, that's just the truth. It's 4:00 here, and Lori's ready for dinner. But I did get a package in the mail today. I was at a sale. I think this is Debbie Ham's things that I bought her. So if anybody wants to hang around, I could open my package and show you where I can just go. I know Jacqueline would like to see. I don't know, maybe Kellyanne. But they humor me when I want to do this stuff. So if you're a replayer, you might want to just scoot now, because that's all I was going to do today was make those little mini tassels and show you how I was going to do it. Thank you for watching. And if you want to hang around, I'm going to open my package. Judy, I just bought, I like when I go out and get fish and chips if we're out for dinner. And I really like the malt vinegar splashed on my fish and chips. And I never thought to buy it for at home. So Ron picked me up a bottle, and I'm thinking, today I was thinking, hey, Shannon, hi. I'm thinking, I wonder how it would taste in tuna. Like if I mix it in with a tuna salad, like if I added that to a little bit of my avocado mayo or something. Have you ever tried that? Salt and vinegar chips. Oh, I like those too. All right, let me get my bag. I don't remember what I ordered or what I purchased. And that's because I buy too much. Oh, I got my address there. I guess I shouldn't really put that up there. Oh, Debbie's. That's not good. Let me get a bigger pair of scissors. Hey, if anybody is interested in a good pair of little scissors, these Tim Holtz scissors, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with those. I love them. Well, I like his bigger ones too, but those little ones are really great. Okay, so let's see what I did here. I think Deb had a lot of, if I'm remembering, a lot of fabric for a really good price. So, oh, that's scraps, I think. There might have been other people selling with her. I figured out the problem with the sales that the girls have online. At least the problem for me. It's because on my lag is I have my lag is really usually pretty poor, and by the time you would decide that maybe you wanted something, it would already be gone because everybody's jumping on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to jump on it right away to try to get in if your lag is not good. And then sometimes I think, why did I order that? Oh yeah, that's right, because I wasn't sure, and I thought I better grab it if I'm gonna. So I don't know who I bought this stuff from. I don't think it was all Debbie Ham, and I don't know what these are for. But I thought these grits might be good for something. They were only $1. Oh look, that still has the protective covering on it. I should probably leave that on there. Doesn't get all scratched up. Not that that matters, I guess. Well, that's not coming off. Okay. Hoop stitch starting point for a. So I don't know. It would help you if you're going to stitch letters. You could use the grid and see where you need to put your stitch marks. So for $1, I thought they might be handy to have on hand. This was a little more expensive. Bally snaps, 40 pre-cut, each 5 by 5 inch, and they're batik squares. Okay. Kelsey, she wants to see Shannon. They are the best. I have both too. I don't know what she's talking about. This is colors called sandpiper colors. Oh, here we go. On the back, you can see all the colors. I guess I won't take them apart now. I can if you twist my arm, but see, these are all the different colors that are in here. I thought they looked pretty. And they are the batik. I always think there's an S in there, but it's not. It's batik. I always think it's batiste. But, you know, I'm a Looney Tune. So I think they'll be really nice. I like the coloring of that. Postcards. I'm a sucker for postcards. Oh, the Tim Holtz scissors. Oh yeah, they're great. I do like his stuff. But I don't like to pay full price for it. I'll be honest. I'll wait till I can find it more reasonable. Okay, so let's see. I think she just had these packs made up. It wasn't like you could pick which ones you wanted. which is fine. These are nice to stick into journals. So this is Excelsior Springs, Missouri. This is Wyoming, Iowa, I think. This is Baptist Church, Mexico, Missouri. Oh, look, this one's got writing on it. This is 1915. I'm usually not a fan of the building and location ones so much as, like, the old people, but these look pretty cool. Kansas City, going to Kansas City, here I come. This was not posted at all. They got some crazy. Oh, look at this. Look at the writing on that postcard print. Postcard. This space for address only, 2 cents. I'll give you my 2 cents. San Francisco, California. Oh, look at this. Here's another one, San Francisco. Can you see? Look at the bus down there, sideways. Jacksonville, Illinois. That feels thick. There's another one in there. Oh, a bungalow home among the flowers. It doesn't say where. It says here, that's Los Angeles, California, but this was made in Germany. So, Illinois, that's pretty. King's Daughters Children's Home. Genuine Curteich, Curteich, Chicago. Oh, this one has a stamp on it, but it's going nowhere. No address. 1 cent stamp. It's got George on there. All right, George. Okay, so they're cool. I like them. Just fine. This was a grab bag of scraps. I won't put you through this. I don't think, unless somebody really wants to see it. But see, I like getting other people's scraps of fabric because we're all different. Our tastes are all different. You're in a different area of the country. It's like a treasure trove to me. Judy says, and my wonders to be a bar with a pretty lady sitting on a piano, wearing a beautiful gown, singing, Kansas City. Her name is Lori. Kansas City, here we come. They got some crazy little women there, and I'm gonna get me one. Boop, 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 boop. All right, one-sided fabric. Seasons for Quilts by Ginny Buyer. So that's kind of a neutrally print. This looks like some barn board, red, very pretty red. Oh, purple. I love me some purple. Yeah, I think these were only a couple dollars a piece. That looks like a piece of wheat. Now, I don't know how your camera is picking it up, but on my end, it usually would look blue, but it looks very purple today. So that's kind of cool. This one, VIP Print, Cranston Print Works Company. A darker green with a little square dot print. And this looks like I bought another bag of, I think she had some bigger pieces too. But these were only, I think these were only like $1 a piece or something. A purple and pink. Now this looks like the petite because it's the same print on front and back. I think I'm correct. I think somehow they dye this with wax and then the wax comes off. I don't know. It's really cool. And then I saw this. I thought this would be redder, but this is nice. This is like a almost like a burgundy kind. I think I have this now. It looks pretty bright on my screen, but in person, this is a little deeper, more like a rusty burgundy. And see, there's a lot of this here. Um, I love this kind of fabric. It's not double-sided. It's a certain way they make it, that batik, like what I showed you. This batik. This one, 100% cotton, designed in the U.S., handmade in Bali, cut with a laser-guided machine. I think you could probably make that yourself. Wouldn't that be cool? Take a piece of plain like muslin and drip some wax on it and then dip it in some dye. Ooh, I think that sounds fun. And then let it dry and then pick the wax off. I guess there's probably an easier way to get the wax off. Hey, Becca, hi. All right, this is more like an upholstery, but a lightweight upholstery. But I liked those flowers. Look how much of this there is. Look. I love when it has this edging on it. Lookout Mountain Cabin Fever Collection by Waverly. Made with pride in the United States. That would make a pretty journal cover or part of a journal cover. This is a really nice brown. Check, check, check. Gold. I'm liking that. I think I did good. Oh yeah, look at this one. I love green. This just, I don't know why. I think of peacocks. Don't ask me why. Maybe because the top of their feathers have that circle with a color in it, but I just think of a peacock when I think of that. Oh, okay, Linda. Thanks. That would be fun to try. I might have to do that someday. Oh, look, see, this is the same thing, right? The dye bleeds right through and you get that image. I just love it. These look cool together, huh? That would be a nice journal. Here's some pink. This is called Rock Candy Azalea. Oh, this has a shimmer to it. What this says. Oh, geez, I can't say that name. For blank quilting, blankquilting.com. Look at that guy's name. Hordizinski. Can you tell the shimmer? Can you see the shimmer? The little sheen, I should say, maybe. That's cool. A neutral. Oh, this is cool. This looks like it would be a holiday one. This has kind of got like little gold dots on this one. I look at that and think of cranberry sauce. Aren't I weird? Don't answer that. Cranberry sauce. This is pretty. This looks like a napkin. Oh, white poinsettia. Oh, this has a nice feel to it. Oh, dang. It's cut off. Jane somebody. Boy, that's very pretty. That feels really yummy. You're fixing to go? Okay, Susie, enjoy that spaghetti sauce. Sounds amazing. All right, here, this looks like more batik. See, isn't that just yummy? It's another little piece. Oh, this is very pretty too. Look at this one. Mm. The way I say sauce. Sauce. But there's more little bits. Oh, these are just so young. Oh, look at this purple. This almost looks like it was stitched. See, now if you put a journal cover together like Amity Bloom, see, little pieces like this come in handy. Jacqueline, how would we do this? This almost looks like a real leaf. I guess you could get some fall leaves on there and put on your fabric and then put the wax on. I guess I should look at a video. Oh, I'm well pleased with these. This is very, oh, look at that. Look at this. This is my fave, I think. Hold on. Oh boy. Look at that. Love that. Oh my. I'm really liking that. Oh, look, here's another piece. Love it. And then she had all these threads. Now I bought a pink thread from somewhere, but it said silk. I thought silk would be sturdier, but it kind of breaks on me. But this looked like it would be cool. So a lot of when I do stitching, like for pages and stuff, to have some kind of a contrast or something that kind of sticks out, or even when you do a like an Amity Bloom cover, she stitches to just make things stick out. So I think it's good. Hey, Candy, hi, boy, it's nice to see you. So I grabbed that red one, but she had all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about this fabric. I think this looks great. Guess I should get making some covers, huh? And then of course there's this bag of scraps. I haven't even looked at that yet. Look at that. So I could do this all night. Oh no, look. I was looking at this side. Look. Can you see the gold? It's all the leaves are trimmed in gold. All the leaves are brown, doo, doo, and the skies are gray. The skies are gray. Oh, look, these just come in so handy for a lot of different things. Pages. Oh my gosh, yeah. Look, here's some more strips. I could make tassels with these. Look at this one, girls. Ooh. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. I think that feels nice. Oh, this is nice. These are nice scraps. This looks like a batik, huh? Oh, look, it's pink. Look. Doesn't that look cool together, huh? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'm going to be playing tomorrow with some of this stuff. So that's it for me for today, girls. Thanks for coming in and joining me. I had to adjust my time. Um, Jenny. No, thank you. Um, our neighbor is doing better, but she's got some serious things going on now. Look how pretty that is. So we're just going to try to help her as much as we can. And she's feeling and looking so much better. So nice to see her today. Um, wow, those strips are beautiful. So I appreciate you being flexible and coming and spending some time with me, even at a different hour. So I really appreciate that. So life is just always different, right? And always surprises around the corner. So I know she's 96, but we really didn't expect this. So that being said, I'm hoping to be back online at my regular time, 12 noon on Sunday. So if you're around, stop in, say hey, check out what we're doing. But I'm going to say goodbye for now. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay cool. I think it's pretty warm everywhere, so stay cool. Oh, there's Debbie. Hi. That's okay, Debbie. I was at a weird time for me today. So thanks for popping in and saying hi, though. That's very nice. So it's good to see you all. Thanks so much. Don't forget, take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. Hey, and let me know if you make some mini tassels. Maybe you'll realize an easier way to do it, or where'd they go? I buried them. So yeah, I think I'll find a home for some of these for sure. But yeah, I think as you make a few, you'll get a little better and get a little better, right? So, and Debbie said she was making cards, but wouldn't these look cute on a card too? You could decorate them. You could use them for a lot of different things. If you get really good at it, you can make earrings. You can make earrings, Kel. Have you done that? I'm sure she has. Anyway, all right. It was nice to see you. Thanks again. I appreciate you all so very much. Have a great day, good evening, and I shall see you when I see you. Have a good evening. Bye for now. If I can get my mouse to cooperate, I will disconnect. I'm sorry, I'm so weird.